Let's go back in time. It's July 16th, 1918. We're in Yekaterinburg, Russia, inside a place called the Ipatiev House. And the air in there, you can just imagine it. It's thick with this intense fear and anxiety. The former Tsar, Nicholas II, and his entire family have been prisoners here for months. But tonight something feels different. You see, the end is coming, but it doesn't start with a gunshot. It starts with a whisper.
It actually starts with a lie. In the middle of the night, the family is woken up. They're told they have to be moved, for their own safety. They have absolutely no idea this isn't some routine relocation. No, this is the final, perfectly planned step of their assassination.
To really get how they were so completely trapped, you have to understand the place they were held. The Bolsheviks didn't even call it a prison. They gave it this official designation, and honestly, it's way more chilling. Yeah, a house of special purpose. I mean, think about that name. This wasn't just some house they were stuck in. It was a death trap, engineered from the ground up. They took this private home and redesigned every single detail, not just to hold the family, but to make absolutely certain their fate was sealed long before that final night ever arrived. And this really captures the bizarre, twisted reality they were living in. Upstairs, you had this ghost of their old life. They had family meals, the kids had lessons. It was almost normal. But the building itself, the very walls around them, had a single grim purpose. It was, for all intents and purposes, death row, totally and utterly inescapable. And here's just how inescapable we're talking. The windows? Blacked out. They built a 12-foot-high wooden fence all the way around it. Hermetic seals, high-security checkpoints. This wasn't just about keeping them in. This was psychological warfare. Every single detail was meant to turn a family home into a fortress and to constantly remind them that the world they knew was gone. Every possible escape route was just eliminated. Okay, so now we get to the moment the plan kicks into high gear. It's around 2 o'clock in the morning. The family is woken up, told to get dressed. The reason they're given is fuzzy. It's meant to make them concerned enough to obey, but not so scared that they panic. Deception was really the main weapon here. The guards told them there was trouble in town, riots, and for their own safety, they had to move down to the basement. And they believed it. Why wouldn't they? So the family gathers their belongings and gets ready to go, totally clueless about what's really happening. So you have the entire family being led down the stairs. Imagine that walk. With every step, the air gets colder, the feeling of dread just builds. They're being led to a part of the house they've never, ever seen before. And then they step into it. A small, empty chamber in the basement. There's nothing in it. It's this brutal, stark contrast to the palaces they grew up in. You'd know right away, this isn't a room for living. It's a room for ending things. The whole vibe is just terrifying. Just like it says here, you've got these cold, bare walls pressing in on them. The only light is from one single dim bulb hanging from the ceiling. It feels staged, artificial, like a set for some horrible final act. And in this incredibly tense moment, something so tragically human happens. Nicholas sees his wife, Alexandra, and his sick son, Alexei, are tired. So he asks the guards for 2 chairs, and they bring them. The family sits and waits, patiently. They are still holding on to the belief that a truck is coming to whisk them away to safety. And this is the moment. While the Romanovs are inside, waiting with this fragile bit of hope, the real story is just on the other side of that door. The execution squad isn't getting a truck ready. No, they're checking their pistols. They're loading their rifles. The trap is officially set. Then, at 2:15 a.m., those heavy doors swing open. But it's not a driver who walks in. It's the chief executioner, Yakov Yurovsky, and he's got a squad of armed men right behind him. And in that one instant, the whole lie evaporates. The Romanovs realize they're standing in their own tomb. Yurovsky quickly reads out the execution order. A completely stunned Nicholas just manages to say, "What?" And before he can say anything else, Yurovsky fires the first shot. The tiny room just erupts in this deafening chaos of gunfire. Smoke is everywhere. It's choking, it's blinding. When the shooting finally stops for a moment, they make a horrifying discovery. The daughters are still alive. The diamonds and jewels sewn into their corsets acted like makeshift armor. But there's no mercy here. The executioners move in with bayonets. And by 2:30 a.m., there's just silence. And just like that, it was all over. 300 years. Think about that. For 3 centuries, the Romanov Dynasty ruled the massive Russian Empire, an unbroken line of incredible power, wealth, and history.
All of it, extinguished in a quarter of an hour, in a small, bloody basement in the middle of Siberia. The speed, the sheer brutality of it all, it's almost impossible to wrap your head around.
But for the Bolsheviks, the killing was just step one. They knew if the bodies were ever found, the site would become a shrine, a rallying point for all their enemies. So the cover-up had to be just as brutal, just as meticulous as the execution.
And what followed was just this unbelievably gruesome process. The bodies were driven out to an abandoned mine. They were stripped and then mutilated so no one could ever identify them. They were burned with gasoline, and then sulfuric acid was poured over what was left. This wasn't just about hiding a crime. This was about literally erasing people from existence. And finally, the remains were buried in a shallow pit hidden under mud and old railroad ties.
And the cover-up worked. It was chillingly effective. The Soviet government just went completely silent on the issue. They created this official black hole where the truth should have been. And that silence is what allowed all the rumors and imposters, all those dozens of women claiming to be Anastasia, to thrive for decades. The real story, what actually happened to the Romanovs, was a state secret, lost to history, really, until their remains were finally discovered after the Soviet Union collapsed.
The Ipatiev House itself is gone now. The Soviets actually had it demolished, trying to wipe the memory of what happened there clean off the map. Today, a church stands on that very spot, a place of prayer built on a place of slaughter. And that leaves us with a really heavy question, doesn't it? Can you ever truly cleanse a place of such horror? Can a new building, a new purpose, ever really wash away the stains of the past? It's a thought that just kind of hangs there long after the echoes of those gunshots have faded away.